Welcome to the Mona tutorials. In this session, we're going to be looking at submitting your space to Mona for Q&A. Now, we're going to be looking at preparing your files for submission and then going through the submission process. So things to keep in mind before moving forward: you will need an artist title, you will need a space name, or a space title, sorry. You'll need a short summary, you will need a long summary, and then you'll need a genre or theme for your space. We will be adding themes to this over time. If there's something specific you want, please hit up the suggestions channel in the Discord. When it comes to things you need to submit, you will need the playable files, which are basically the playground files that you've probably been testing with. You can create a mintable file, which we will go through in this session. You will create a preview image for the loading screen. So when someone clicks on your space, they will see this image in the background, and a preview video for promotion on Marketplace and Mona website and other things like that. The video needs to be under 20 meg, and the image needs to be under 5. So we have that. As noted previously, playable files need to be under or equal to 180 meg in total. That includes all of the files in the Playground Files folder, and the mintable files, which are a little bit bigger, can go up to 2 gig. But this is the main one that you're probably going to be looking at. So let's jump in. Okay, so in our scene, for example, so imagine this is something that you've created over the last days, weeks, or months. First, we need to make sure that everything is as accurate as possible. So make sure there are no cameras in the scene. Make sure your spawn point is where you want it to be. We want to make sure that all of our portals, our artifacts, and our canvas names are unique and have the tags correctly. So those are some of the basics, but of course we've gone through many of these in different tutorials. Once again, going through the process of things you will need, we need the playable files, which are the playground files. So you could click on Playground, which will create our playground files in the exports folder. Of course, you could use the Mona build playground files here as well. But if you use the playground or this, then they'll make the same files. The other one we do need to do is, however, build mintable files. So we need to click on the Mona menu and build mintable files, and it will create the files in the same folder. Now, how you get your image and video render of your space is up to you. You could take a screenshot and edit that in Photoshop, but we do recommend making it look as relatively accurate to the scene as possible, just to make sure you don't come across as false advertising. We do have a tutorial in the docs for making a video render. I'll be adding to that in the future using Unity Video Recorder, for example. So that's quite a useful tool to make relatively concise animations or videos of your space. So once we have those, we can get into our Mona space. So say, for example, you'll go to mona.gallery. You've no doubt seen this before, but we will need to go to our wallet and sign in. There is a tutorial in the docs for creating a wallet if you haven't already. So I'll just put in my information here and see you on the other side. Once you get into your wallet, you'll have 3 empty slots. So click on one of those. And then you will start entering the information that I mentioned previously. So you'll have your artist name, you'll have space titles, short description. The space summary, the long description, is actually optional. So up to you if you want to add in that for whatever purposes. I do recommend it. It does help with selling your space and getting a better understanding of what you're trying to do. So under that, we can use some of the space themes or genres of your space, depending on what you have done. If you have any specific requests, add these to the suggestions. We'll be adding to these over time. So let's put this into education. And then we go continue. Okay, so we have our image information up here. We have upload your playground files. So if you go back to your project files and then exports, you can drag and drop your objects in here. Or you can use the select file. Now, select a file will be the folder that houses the playground files, not the playground files themselves. It will come up with a pop-up So let's go to exports, playground files. So you got that there, and then go upload. I will say upload 8 files to this site, and then you go upload. And then it will come up with this again. So you have 2 ways to put it in, but drag and drop is pretty easy. If you have the right amount of artifacts, portals, and canvases, once again, make sure there are no duplicate names, because this is what it will be looking for. So if you had 2 duplicate names, then you don't know which is which. Also, unique portal name 1 and 2 doesn't really help me in regards to what is it meant to be. So unique, useful names is very useful. So once we get to this point, we can connect our information. So if we go connect, it will go to all of the spaces that have been minted. So you can use that. Artifacts will have the title of the artifact, we'll have the artist, we'll have a description where the artifacts links to. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a marketplace, it can be any website you like with other. For example, preview asset will show a video or an image when you roll over it, for example. Make sure not to press back. Use the X at the top right to close this. Canvases are the same. So we've gone through the title, artist, description, other, once again, website that it will link to. What is the image on this, and how does it apply to the canvas? Now that that's done, we have the thing that we loaded, which is the playable files, so we can preview them if we want. I would recommend testing it 1 more time, or 3 more times to make sure. Once again, if this is minted, you cannot update anything that is not an artifact, so keep that in mind. Preview image is any 1920 by 1080 image under 5 meg. Mintable file will be the mintable file that we added here, so that goes in there, for example. So that's done. Once again, you can select the image and then go that. So open file, that will be there. And preview render, which will of course be the video that you've rendered elsewhere. So for example, but once again, it has to be less than 20 meg to apply. So once those are all updated, you'll need to fill out the submission form. This will be listed in the documentation. There is also a link in the description of this video. Basically, you'll have the builder submission form. Basically, you'll go through email, first name, last name, all of the details for your space. A MetaMask wallet address that is associated with your space, a Twitter handle, which is optional, title of the space description. This is pretty important. Make sure that you note any assets that you used that are not yours. So things that you may have purchased from the Unity Asset Store or TurboSquid, any store like that. Just make sure their attributes are correct. We also need a URL preview link to your space. So this is the playable file, so the preview link to the space there. Image, video, and of course some code of conduct and privacy policy. Click submit. That will go to the staff, of which they will start the QA process. And when they get that cleared, this mint space button will be available to click. So that is a basic summary of submitting your space for Monarch. Thanks for watching and happy building.